So it's the end of April, and we've had sort of an unusual project this morning, and it was cutting the non-flowering branches out of mango trees. So you can see there's quite a few flowers here, some fruit, but there was a lot of this sort of mango hedge that wasn't producing, would not produce this year. If it doesn't have flowers by the end of April, there's really a very small chance that it will have flowers this season. And so we took the opportunity to cut off a bunch of tall stuff and things that were growing in odd directions, and this will give these plants longer to recover and hopefully be calm over the winter of 2018-2019 and hopefully flower 2019. So even though we're waiting for the mangoes to develop on the trees now, and that's sort of our focus, there's still things like this that we can do. We can cut, ahead of time. Usually we cut everything at the end of mango season after we've picked the last fruit, but we're getting a head start on it right here. So here's another area where we've been trimming mangoes, and basically there were a lot of very lanky mango seedlings here because they used to be in shade, so they kept growing taller to try and get to the sun, and they never flowered. Now there's a couple things going on here. There were a lot of seedlings that didn't flower this year, and so we cut those way back. But we also have grafting that we've done recently on a lot of these. So of course we left those. Here's another one over on this side. Hopefully those will take. Then we have this very tall seedling here behind me, and there's actually flowers on that. And so it's pretty far up, but we would like to taste the fruit before we trim the tree back. So that will be end of mango season trimming. So we did the same thing with, I'd say about 30 plants in here. If they had flowers on them, we left them. If they had grafts on them, we didn't cut the grafts off. Made sure of that. And if they had leaves on them and no flowers, no grafts, what we did was cut them back so that those new branches would be forming low and it would be a nice size to top work. So this is our last cut back the non-flowering mango project of the day. This was, this used to be a rather large tree. Now it's a very nice base for a future tree. But this was a seedling of the Mogoba, which is behind me and huge. This was pretty big too, but not nearly as big as the original Mogoba, of course. And the fruit were pretty good, but the tree was hard to control. We kept cutting out major branches, and the branching started at about 7 feet and then went up from there. So anyway, took this opportunity. It had very few flowers on it. A little bit. Last year was a great year, but this year not so much. So cut it back, and then when it sprouts out, I will be top working several of the new varieties onto this, but leaving at least one shoot of the original tree, because it is a good fruit and it usually produces a lot, but I would like to have a situation for a lot of the other varieties that I don't have enough of. So here it is. As long as we're taking out all these non-flowering mango branches and such, we continued on to other non-productive plants. Behind me is the former guinep, or mamoncillo, or Spanish lime, and it's supposedly is a female tree, but I don't think there's any male trees around here. Guinep is something that fruits very well in Homestead. There's tons of trees down there, and we had a beautiful landscape tree here, but I wanted a fruit producing tree. So this will be a whole lot of area that will now have sunshine, and we can plant some more mango trees behind there. And then over here, this whole lychee hedge did not flower this year again, and so we took this opportunity to trim it way back. There's two reasons for that, or possibly even three. One is that we want to try grafting onto some of these trees, and so we want to graft as low as possible. Second thing is they were getting way out of hand. They're really tall because I was trimming whenever we got fruit, and surprise, surprise, we haven't gotten fruit for a long time, so they hadn't gotten trimmed. And then the third thing is when they do have fruit, and I'm being optimistic here, it will be a lot easier to pick the fruit. So anyway, we have trimmed a whole lot of major branches out of the lychee hedge, and hopefully it will be productive and easy to pick soon. So this morning was sort of our equivalent of spring cleaning. The Gannep had to go. It was a nice tree, but shading all sorts of other trees and also taking up a lot of space. So something that we really didn't want that badly goes out the door, and we will use this space for other trees. And in the case of the lychee and the mangoes that we've trimmed back, those trees are going to have all of the summer to recover, and so hopefully they'll be ready to fruit in summer of 2019.